Okay, so first of all, that was LAPD group stalking flying at the low elevation adjacent to building 1800. You'll see, I took still images of that. Group stalking with LAPD in the specific environment under a light source that is supposed to be the sun, which is not the sun. That would be at the same time remaining over the property of Country Village Apartments in Jurupa Valley, California, where again on March 11, 2021, I am at that location, at that address during the course of an entire workday, and I'm capturing what is impossible light activity, because if that's the sun over Jurupa Valley, over the office and in zenith over my head, there will be no sunlight inside, okay? And so that's just understanding a basic level of analysis. You're gonna go deeper though, because this is impossible light activity, also because the sun itself is in its position beside building 1810. There's no vantage point where sunlight's going to appear inside of my apartment on the floor, while it's adjacent to building 1810, but you already know that the entity is moving in alignment to me, that is stalking in the path with light as I move. And this is a distinct method of light with regard to the placement of the light source. This has nothing to do with the illusion that you're looking at, the sun in the sky and the sunlight all over the place. This is placed light, engineered light, impossible light activity. Impossible, I'm showing you, because number one, the documented placement of a sun in Jurupa Valley equals no sun over Alvarado Gardens, any building, absolutely nowhere actually, because the entity kept that light source, which is supposed to be the sun, and we only have one, over the address, and it's in it, so it's unmistakable with regard to its location. It's unmistakable with it. There's no misperceived depth, and as it's over Jurupa Valley, over Country Village, over my head, the farther and farther that you drive, because you're not able to perceive the depth that it's at, it's remaining over everyone's head, everywhere that you're going all day long. No, that's not the sun. That's the pattern of conduct. And the Los Angeles Police Department, again, that's the ongoing pattern of conduct. It's not just showing you the environment that they're in, also identifying what is stalking in that environment, because it's serving for criminal monitoring while you're being surrounded in an environment which also defies nature. Understand the totality of the P.O.C. This is also impossible because common sense dictates that the sun is adjacent to building 1810. That's why I'm standing up and I'm facing that building. I'm not turning around. Building 1806 would be to the opposite direction. There's no sunlight that's going to hit inside of my apartment whatsoever. And it's also nowhere near building 1806. Also, you have, even if the sun was up, so we can even, again, entertain the fallacy, the illusion. Even if the sun is over my apartment, which you know that it is because the entity is stalking with the light source, there's no sunlight that's going to appear inside of the apartment. Number one, the sun is not adjacent to 3-story buildings. Number two, sunlight does not shoot horizontally like lasers, piercing through what are closed. This is magnified light, concentrated in color. Remember, my apartment is filled with what is engineered light. Number three, sunlight that's coming from the sun that's above us has a downward trajectory while it's in the sky, high above us, and it's not coming down to windows and then turning horizontally in order to enter into and then shoot downward onto the floor. That's not sunlight. This is all common sense, okay? And then the bigger picture is the sun is remaining over Jurupa Valley. This is the significance of what you're analyzing. I have been analyzing while you're looking at, just isolate the venue here. No, that's not the sun. It's remaining here all day long. You've got literally rising through my window, setting through my bedroom window, not the sun. Reminding you about at 12:38 p.m., there is no point at which the sun is directly over building apartment number 51 at 12:38 p.m., give or take away daylight savings time, while you've got the documented maintenance of the light source over me, the documented maintenance of engineered light inside of because that's not sunlight, inside of my apartment. It's over an entirely different city, directly over the apartment. And you're also looking at the engineered light inside of that apartment. It's pursuant to the pattern of conduct. Equally impossible. Light inside of apartment number 51, reaching behind the door, reaching all around the apartment, creating trajectory of that light. You see the shadow of the lamp inside of her apartment, her being Tracy Banks, a third-party group stalker, the lamp beside her big screen TV, the lamp, the shadow of that lamp going to upward into an angle. This is demented light activity. It's impossible, unnatural light activity. That's the glowing light. And then you see the concentrated light reaching behind the door, all over the walls, and behind onto the ground, just like you saw today in my room. While the door was cracked closed, you see light across the carpet, up the wall, and across the ceiling. That's that engineered light, not sunlight. Appearing in the shade, appearing in the light. This is the P.O.C. And this is, I want to be clear, 1816 number 3 Carbajal. He's going to federal prison, engaging in multiple acts of group stalking with the corrupt law enforcement agency. He's going to federal prison for a long time. And this is, you're looking at what is ongoing criminal facilitation while they are in a specific environment surrounded by the evidence and still engaging in what is an obsessive endeavor to their own demise. This is presence in the path and engineered light under the light source, direct evidence against him, which is direct evidence against the people of the state. The whole entity is being documented while Carbajal is maintaining presence in the half, facilitating the LAPD, who was stalking in a helicopter under a light source, which is supposed to be at a vantage point where people in Jurupa Valley, not anybody at 1800 North Alvarado Street in Los Angeles at the same time, is going to be under any sun or having any of this light under no circumstance, because sunlight doesn't magnify and create multiple shadows. That's not normal light. That's engineered light. Okay, that's how all of that analysis, and around we go with that ongoing analysis surrounding an entity and prosecuting it severely for obsessive stalking. It's 11:09 a.m. and on March 11, 2021, there is no sun. I never go anywhere near Los Angeles. The entity is keeping a light source in the same way, because you're going to remember, documented before I went to Jurupa Valley Country Village, the entity was keeping the fake sun over 706 West Holt Boulevard. That's why I refer to it as a fake sun. That's why I use that terminology. Okay, this is an unintelligent effort at trying to mimic, and it's relying on just blatant ignorance of the average person. I want to be clear, the American people should be insulted. They are literally relying on your just pure, that they are expecting for you, they being an entity, are expecting you to be an ignoramus. And if not an ignoramus, one that is just so occupied with the day-to-day hustle of life, so overwhelmed and consumed with what's going on in your life and not paying attention to what's around you. What's around you is speaking to what's going on and what you're actually subject to. I mean, it's a violation of your human rights. This is not just criminal. This is entirely sick and demented. And this is evidence that's serving for a very thorough and intense prosecution. The state of California is going to be placed on the map for engaging in that which is unprecedented, that which is now exposed. It's not a secret anymore. And also for the prosecution, the punishment that they're going to serve. It's 11:10 a.m. and the entity is keeping a fake sun over Alvarado Gardens. That's not the sun that's over Jurupa Valley. This is just another vivid illustration in how you're prosecuting a public entity that is placing you under surveillance and doing so in a specific environment and necessarily in concert with the people of the state. This is P.O.C.